Loser in the Johnnies. Male idols had to be good looking first and foremost. They had to be good dancers, leaving aside their singing ability, which is what was required of the legitimate idols of the 80s. During this period, two important idol TV programs, NTV's The Top 10 and TBS The Best 10, were important places for idols to perform. As popular songs were presented each week in a ranking format, it was impossible to appear on the show unless records were selling well, and appearing on the show functioned as a kind of idols. The 1980s were known as a golden age of idols, but around the late 80s, signs of change gradually began to appear in TV singing programs. When the Top 10 ended in 1986, followed by the Best 10 in 1989, ranking-style singing programs began to disappear. This meant the disappearance of the idol's place of proof of existence. The reason why idols are disappearing is, of course, that they no longer get the ratings they require. The declining attractiveness of the male idol as a product may have contributed to this. It was inevitable that the ranking format would result in the same faces appearing week after week. Gradually, consumers began to get bored with their idols. A new category, music variety, emerged as soon as singing programs disappeared in the 80s. The conversation with the MC became longer and longer, with more laughter and singing, and the question began to be asked not only about singing, but also about humanity and personality. The reason for Hikaru Genji, the stalling of popularity, was that they had sold themselves on song. They became too popular as songs that sold too well equal male idols of the past. They were out of step with a variety-oriented market. SMAP debuted at a time when idols were in bad shape. SMAP was selected from the members who danced in the background during the peak of Hikaru Genji's popularity. The name SMAP is an acronym for Sports Music Assemble People. It doesn't ring a bell. SMAP debuted with a single in 1991, but it didn't explode into a hit, reaching number 2 in the Oricon ranking for the first time. SMAP finally achieved their Oricon number 1 with their 12th single, released in 1994. Johnny Kitagawa liked first place, first ever, and records, and was obsessed with getting first place. Normally, second place would have been something to celebrate, but it was unusual for a debut song to fail to reach number 1 at the Japanese agency at the time. The agency also half-heartedly turned its back on the group, saying, "Why aren't you guys selling?" And the first Japanese group whose debut song wasn't number 1. SMAP performed their debut concert, but the pitches are off and the dancing isn't complete. The brilliance of the boys singing and dancing is supreme for Johnny. In this respect, SMAP fell out of line with Johnny's values. Even with the strongest tag of Johnny's production and Mary's management, it was difficult to sell. One woman wanted to do something about SMAP and help these children. Unable to just stand by, she helped them out. She isn't a creator or even a manager. Iijima Michi was a clerk at the Japanese agency. The people were giving her cold looks because she was a true beginner. There are episodes when the agency didn't supply costumes for SMAP, and Iijima bought similar clothes at a second-hand shop with her own expense and literally worked night and day to prepare costumes for the six members of the group. Manager Michi Iijima can be described as a mother figure who raised SMAP from the time they were unsuccessful. Gone are the best 10 and the top 10, which used to be a place for idols. If there are no singing shows they can appear in, they will do what their seniors in Janis didn't do. Manager Ijima thought, where is that? That's a variety show. Idols have been in variety shows before. It was only an add bonus after the song sold well. It was unusual for a member of SMAP, whose face wasn't yet well known to the general public, to appear as a lower position on a variety show. Member auditioned individually for a drama in which he wasn't the main actor. They did jobs that didn't even get their name on a TV schedule. That's something the previous seniors wouldn't have done. SMAP expanded its activities to mainly variety shows. They actively tried their best at location, comedy gags, and other challenges. They swallowed their pride. Gradually, the popularity of the song expanded, and in 1998, the song scored its first million seller. A solo program, SMAP SMAP, began broadcasting in 1996. The first half of SMAP SMAP consists of variety shows that give a true picture of the members, such as comedy, Bistro SMAP, while the second half is a music show with invited guests. 1 minute, we think we are looking at a friendly idol with the same perspective as us, and the next minute, we are a star we've never seen before. Starry, yet very familiar, with this opposing attraction, SMAP is unique. SMAP acquired high degree of originality and entertainment value. SMAP has become a national idol in both name and reality, with many million-seller hits, including Yozora no Mukou and Lionheart. SMAP broke away from the royal style of Japanese idols that its seniors has demonstrated up to that point, and by purposely erasing Japanese-ness. They established SMAP's own unique style. What makes SMAP stand out is how long it takes. It spanned 28 years from its beginning in 1988 until its dissolution in 2016. It's also rare that each member is doing well after the breakup. In this way, the path created by SMAP was passed on to the younger members of Janis. Such was the case with Arashi, who was regarded as a national idol of the following generation. With SMAP's big break, Ijima Michi has increased her presence within the Japanese agency. The two major groups were split into two factions: the Julie faction, led by Julie Fujishima, Mary's eldest daughter and Johnny's niece, and the Iijima faction led by Iijima, who had raised SMAP. This split would later lead to various conflicts.